And I remember when I was on tour, I just really started to have like these breakdowns because I felt like I was living like two separate worlds. I was in this world of this performance world where everything was just amazing and going well, but I would come home and still be sad. And my friends who passed away at an early age from AIDS and HIV. And I started just like, you know, they passed, I'm still here, I'm healthy and blessed in so many ways. I wanted to just creatively share my story.
It also takes such a versatile person and well-rounded person like you to be able to do both theater and TV, because there's a lot of actors that I see that cannot do both.
It's a different craft, and I can say it was a different craft. You know, when I first started doing TV and like short films back in New York, I mean, yeah, I didn't have it either. I look at some of the old takes and stuff and be like, ooh, no, it's a different technique. And I put myself into a TV acting class. Even while I was still in Lion King, I would do the show, some shows, 2 shows a day in the evening. Whenever I had the free time during the afternoons, yeah, I would be in weekends. That's what it was. We would have 2 shows on Saturday, and I put myself in a TV acting class on Saturday morning. So I would wake up around like 7. Yep, girl, I wake up at 7. I would go to class at 9. The class was from 9 to 1. Fortunately, it was right in Times Square, so I only had to walk like 3 blocks to get to the theater. But 9 to 1, and then I would show up at the theater at 1:30, which was our call time, get ready, do the show at 2, have a little 2-hour break in between, and do the show again at 8 o'clock. But that was because I knew that there was a different craft, there's different technique for TV that I didn't understand and I didn't know because I was all theater. And then on top of that, I was all musical theater as well. So I was like, all right, let me study this. Let me study the craft. I even hired a TV coach at one point. I wanted the information, you know, I wanted to get the technique done because I don't want nobody to be reading me. No, but anyway, no. but no, not about people reading me, but still, you know, I want to get hired.
Yeah.
I want to be able to know how to transition from the stage to television.
That shows how you pursued your passion, you know. You could have been just like, this is a busy schedule and I'm not going to even work on anything else, but this is what I mean by pursuing passion, working hard and making it day long if it has to be, but like that hard work paid off. And what you got to do, so.
it sure did. That's what you have to do. It's like, all right, what are you going to sacrifice? What do you not need to do much of right now? So how are you going to balance this out, basically? All right. Yeah. So, you know, go to bed earlier so you can get up at 6 or 7 o'clock so you can be in class at 8, right? Yeah. So it's all about balancing out your life so that you're prioritizing what needs to be done in that moment. And the thing is that if you have your goal and you have your focus, you got a lot of stuff going on, prioritize which one is going first, okay? All right. So if you say, hey, I'm working towards this goal for the next 3 months, I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to work towards this. I'll get back to the other thing, or I'll let the other thing wait because I need to really focus on this right now. If I try to do X, Y, and Z, it's going to be too much. I'm going to get stressed out. You know, I may end up in the hospital or something like that. But prioritize it and just know it's only temporary. It's only temporary. You know, you can get back to partying and doing stuff that you really love. Prioritize and plant the seeds and let that tree grow, right?
I love that. Thank you. I needed that. Thank you for that. So what made you move to California?
Okay, so here's where we get even deeper. My last couple years in New York, I just wasn't feeling inspired, and I wanted to move on from the Lion King. And I also wanted to tap more into my personal creativity, if that makes sense. I wanted to share my personal story more. I wanted to be a voice for others. And I get this from my mom and my dad. You know, my dad, rest in peace, but my mom, she'll be 80 next year. She's just so involved with the community back home in Virginia and her organization, you know, and doing a lot of charity work. And so I have that charitable heart. And I try to channel that charitable heart into my creative passion as well. And so when I started touring, I did started to have a couple of just sort of like emotional moments where my mental health was not well, and I wasn't really fully dealing with everything about me. And I was dealing with a lot of internalized homophobia and internalized AIDS and HIV phobia as well. And I hadn't fully come to terms with myself and accepting me being gay, and also accepting, because I'm HIV positive, and I tested positive when I was in college. So I hadn't come to terms with a lot of that. And I remember when I was on tour, I just really started to have like these breakdowns, because I felt like I was living like two separate worlds. I was in this world of this performance world where everything was just amazing and going well, but I would come home and still be sad, just because I felt like I was hiding something. And I had a dear friend of mine was like, you don't have to tell anybody, you don't have to share anything. True, but something needed to be free within me, right? I felt like I was silencing my voice. I was trapping myself inside. So I started to write. A friend of mine bought me this book called The Artist's Way, and I started to just use that and started to do some self-healing work. And I was real big into self-help books. And then I just started to just reflect back on my life and where I came from, and my friends who I came out with and who I partied with back in DC, who I went to the clubs with, who I was like walking balls with. I was a part of the ball scene at one point. And my friends who passed away at an early age, who were gay, who were Black, and who passed from AIDS and HIV. And I started just like, they passed, I'm still here, I'm healthy, as I am blessed in so many ways. I've never been sick a day in my life. So I wanted to just creatively share my story in that way. So I started journaling, which turned into writing, which turned into creating a one-man show where it was about just a coming of age story, coming to terms story. And that's when I got to a point towards the end of Lion King, where I felt like I wasn't fulfilled enough. I wanted to just be more of a voice and help people through my art. And so I went back to school, went to NYU to study dramatic writing and educational theater, but the educational theater sector, which was applied theater, where you use theater as a teaching tool to go out and to speak and serve in underserved communities. And some people was like, well, why would you do that? You're on Broadway. Why would you go back to do that? I'm like, my spirit, my heart was just telling me I need to serve in another way. So I went there, I took the time off, went back to school, and it was a great thing for me. And I created another piece, and I was able to tour to different colleges and speak on panels to just share my story, and to also speak and bring more awareness to AIDS and HIV within the African-American community, and to also help erase the stigma that we have around that. And I gained like a whole new group of like friends and people who were there who saw me and supported me, and who they even came to me and say, hey, you helped, I'm not even a Black gay man, and you helped shed some light to me on my life, and thank you. But anyway, I did that. I went to school, and I got really burnt out because I was like working so hard, and I got into a relationship that I thought was going to be healthy for me, and it turned really unhealthy. It became really abusive. And I was at a place where I was like, I cannot do this anymore. I needed to leave the show. I needed to leave New York. I literally got out of the relationship because, I literally got knocked in the face. And so that's a wake-up call to tell you to move on, when someone puts their hand on you. And the producers from Lion King, they said, hey, Cornelius, we are closing the show in Vegas and want to know if you would like to go to Vegas to close the company there. And I didn't take 1 or 2 seconds to think about it. I said yes right away. I was ready to leave New York. I was ready for a change. I know I only had 8 months in the show, but it was some nice job security for 8 months so I can get set up and just sort of start anew. And I already knew when I was leaving, I said, yeah, I'm going to leave New York. I'm packing all my stuff up. I'm selling my place. I'm packing all of my stuff up. And I'm going to go to Vegas. I stayed with a good friend of mine. I'm going to go to Vegas. And I am going to move to LA right after that. So make a long story short, that's how I got to LA. I was in Vegas for 8 months with the show. I closed this literally the day after the show closed. I had packed up this U-Haul with my car, and my friend and I drove down to my apartment, which was in Hollywood, right off of Cahuenga Boulevard. And I was still burnt out from performing and from school. And so I stopped performing for about like a year, almost 2 years. And then I went into a yoga studio, and I started doing yoga. Yeah, I was just like, it was probably like my first or second week. I stepped into my friend's class at Core Power. I don't know if you ever met Bridget, but she used to teach there. But anyway, she brought me to her class. And next thing I know, I was just a floodgate of just tears and stuff just started to release. And next thing you know, I was signed up for teacher training. And then next thing you know, I was just like, went from one class to taking like about 8 classes a week into a teacher training. And out of the teacher training, from like teaching one class to teaching like almost like 17 classes a week. And that was just my way of detoxing, purging, releasing everything that I had went through. And it saved me. It saved me. You know, it put me in a better place mentally, emotionally. Before I even started teaching, I would go to other teachers' classes. Like, I love what people say now in the comments, like how you introduced me about your friend who you used to do work for trade with, and what she used to say. That's what I used to say about other teachers, like Bridget, you know, like Milena, who used to teach there, Amanda. I used to say that about those teachers. Jamelia, you know, those were the ones who inspired me and who helped me get over a hump, and who helped me really, you know, become more of who I am, especially as a fitness and yoga instructor as well. So yeah, after about 2 years, I realized that I was ready to go back to perform, but I said, I have to keep the yoga in my life. I have to keep it in my life because it helped balance me. And it helped balance me in so many ways. I can go to an audition and kill it, and I can leave and totally be done with it. Before that, I never could. I would go to an audition and I would hold on to that stuff. Before yoga, before I really dove deep into yoga and its benefits emotionally, I would hold on to stuff like for weeks. Like, why didn't they call me back? Or, they must have like, I sang that note wrong. Man, that inflection on that line was not right. That's why, you know, I would, in my head. But when I really tapped into that yoga, it allowed me to just be completely okay and complete with how I showed up in the space and in that moment. And that's why, yeah, so I was like, I'll never stop doing it. I'll never stop teaching. As long as I'm performing, it's all gonna go hand in hand.
Do you have any plans to do those one-man shows again or anything
yes,
that we can come and see?
It's been a minute, and it's just been like a balancing act for me. Again, it's more so I'm just like, all right, I want to do it, but does it make sense right now? Do I really have the time right now? What am I really focusing on? All right, so, but yes, and I did create a new show.
Oh, gosh.
And I did a reading of the first act, and I haven't done anything since then. It's so good. I love it. It's fun. It's funny. It's emotional. But I have a good friend of mine within my circle. He and we're buddies, and we're doing the AIDS ride together. And he just finished a writing workshop with his writing mentor. They did a whole Zoom workshop. And he wrote a new play. It's a 10-minute play that he wrote. So since our shows speak of similar topics, I think we're going to plan just like a night of a reading. And then, yeah, so that'll sort of be that's going to get me back into that space of like sharing.
Your revival in that space.
Yeah, it's my revival. Yeah, it's going to happen in the new year.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to go. I'm going. I did want to make sure you know that you said that you like to give back, and you majorly gave back teaching yoga. You really changed people's lives. So like I always say that our purpose is always helping people, and you are just beyond serving your purpose. And even in the things that you may think is just simple or whatever, like teaching or just, you know, just something you like to do, you are just really touching everybody. And I constantly always heard wonderful things. And even people that see you from afar on IG, like me, like you are super inspiring. You naturally shine. So please keep doing what you're doing, and just know that you're touching people like me, and your teaching has really shifted people's lives. They loved going, they loved the energy. And I just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you. That's a great reminder. It is a great reminder because, you know, it's my personality and also being a Sagittarius as well. You know, we do the most. We be doing the most because sometimes we feel like we're not doing enough. Mm-hmm. And but thank you for that reminder. It is. And I tell myself nowadays, I'm like, you're good. You've done enough. You're serving well. So be totally okay with that, and don't try to say, oh, I didn't serve enough. No, you have served enough.
Yes, if you don't do anything else, you've definitely done enough. And just know, you doing your everyday life. Somebody like me that hadn't really been to yoga in a while or anything else, you have touched me by just your posts. You probably didn't even know that I'd be seeing this stuff. Just being yourself and living your truth and being you. And I could just even see your character in some of the captions that you would write and things like that. Like, those are super inspiring. So just know we see you, Cornelius. And you're serving your purpose. I think we can close up because I think we got so much. Thank you so much.
That's so much.
Where can we find you? I know you said your show's coming up. I know you have your YouTube thing. Are you teaching yoga? Just like, tell us where we can find you.
I teach a live stream on my IG page at Cornelius Jones Jr. every Monday, 9 a.m. PST. I do 30 minutes there. That 30 minutes is just for anyone who want to pop in and just see what I do. It's complimentary, of course. I always tag my Venmo there if you want to give some love. I also have my platform where I do teach live stream classes. We're shifting to a new platform, which is getyogaburn.com, which is up right now. It's being beta tested, but it is up. I have current subscribers. If you just go to Cornelius Yoga Burn right now, you'll get all of the information there. So I have the live classes on Monday. If you want to do 30 minutes, it's on IG. If you want to do the full hour on Mondays, just join us in the Zoom space. So I have it running from IG and Zoom. We do Tuesday mornings on Zoom at 7:30 p.m. PST. We do Friday mornings at 9 a.m. on Zoom, again, Pacific Standard Time, and Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. on Zoom. And it's a mixture of power yoga, some bar classes, some sculpt classes, HIIT classes as well. You can look at the schedule and see that. That's for anything health, fitness, yoga related. I'll be introducing challenges. I have a 14-day challenge with a nice wellness and meal plan there. I'm a recent Ayurvedic wellness counselor. I'm still a baby Ayurvedic wellness counselor, but on the new platform, you'll get a lot of tips about food, diet, and certain types of oils and herbs and cooking tips that just Ayurvedically that will help your overall physical and emotional wellness. So that'll all be in the new platform. Of course, some freebies will be thrown there as well. And if anything acting related, just go to CorneliusJonesJr.com. And that's it. But mainly on all of the social platforms, TikTok, Cornelius Jones Jr., IG, Cornelius Jones Jr., Facebook, Cornelius Jones Jr., Twitter, I'm not really there much. I mainly retweet other people's stuff on Twitter, but it's Cornelius Jones J, not Jr., Cornelius Jones J. At the time when I got it, they didn't have enough characters.
Oh, okay.
Characters. I couldn't get the Junior. I couldn't get the R. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Cornelius Yoga Burn, Get Yoga Burn, CorneliusJonesJr.com.
Oh, amazing. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. In closing, do you have any final words for, number one, either the general audience, or number two, a little boy like Cornelius that wants to do the arts?
for that little boy, that little girl who always thought that they were different or not good enough, special, and who hears those words that, oh, you're special, oh, you're different. Know that, yes, you are special, you are different, and know that you were handpicked to be here and that you are the chosen one. And just lean more into your specialty, your differences, and your uniqueness, because that is going to be the thing that is going to propel you in life and keep moving you forward in life. That's your gift.
Mic dropped. That's it. Thank you, Cornelius, for your time and for your such inspiring and powerful story. And thank you for being so authentic with us. And I appreciate it. You will touch many souls. And till next time.
You're very welcome. Thank you for reaching out, and thank you for having me. I appreciate this. Again, congratulations on your passion project and just being a great host, moderator, producer, and yeah, developing this. So I wish you much success.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'll see you around. I'll be in touch.
All right. I love you.
Love you too. Blessings.
All right, baby.
Bye.
Bye-bye.